Hi, this is Dr. Richard Ruling here to share with you on the Total Health Channel. We're looking at the Trump prophecies and how, in this case, God is going to make Trump make America great. It's from Daniel 8, where there is a ram and a goat conflict. The horns on the ram are said to be the kings of Media and Persia. This was historic fulfillment, but also, Gabriel says this is at the time of the end, and the Medes and Persians are today Iraq and Iran. And we have already broken one of the horns for Iraq, the Medes, and Persia will be next. Not Russia, not North Korea, not China, but war with Iran. And it's impending in the near future. Congress has actually already approved the funding for it if it happens. And so we just need to see from the Bible what is more likely to happen, because something angers that goat, which flies from the west. And by the way, Alexander the Great didn't have airplanes, and he clobbers this ram and breaks both its horns. Interestingly, the ram is first seen in Genesis 22 when God was testing Abraham to see if he would be willing to offer his son Isaac. Muslims think it was their son Ishmael, was that they were descendants of Ishmael, and that's what the Quran gives them the impression of. But this is a test of the true holy book, and the fact that Iraq has already had its horn broken suggests that it's not Ishmael. The ram sacrifice in Daniel will spare Israel, because they want to drive Israel into the sea. And that was the land of the covenant to Isaac, not to Ishmael. And so ultimately, that's the contest. And we will see an event in the near future where Jerusalem is surrounded by all nations, probably all Muslim nations, neighboring nations, United Nations, not sure, but that's what Zechariah 14:1 and 2 says. And that will anger the ram, because Trump has put the embassy there in Jerusalem, and recognizing it as the capital of Israel. So when it happens, it says the goat becomes very great. Well, that represents the Western coalition and America, and specifically because trumpets in the Bible were made from horns. There's a great horn on this goat, and it implies God picked the symbolism and the imagery for our time. Only God can do that. And by the way, in Genesis 22, it's interesting that a ram was caught in a bush, capital B-U-S-H. So that's how Iraq got it, and now the great horn comes on the goat to clobber the Persia or Iran. But after that, it says the great horn was broken, and historically, Alexander the Great died an early death, and or premature, something unnatural. And so could that be assassination? Could be, not sure. But then 4 more horns spring up toward the 4 winds, it says. And the 4 winds is an echo of Daniel 7, where there were 4 beasts that came out of the sea. And earlier, we're doing this series on Revelation and Daniel, and it said that the 4 beasts in Daniel 7 represented originally Babylon, Media, Persia, Greece, Rome. That's on the surface, and out of that Roman Empire came a little horn that became very great. We said it was the papacy, and this fits history very well. But in verse 25, when Gabriel is telling Daniel the meaning of the dream, it's verse 17, he said that the 4 beasts are 4 kings which shall arise out of the earth. Shall arise is future. At that particular time, Daniel was living in Babylon, and Babylon was declining under its last king, Belteshazzar. It's in the early verse of Daniel 7. So shall arise is a future application, and it fits our day, okay? And the lion with eagle's wings suggests a Great Britain, United Kingdom has the lion. We have the eagle's wings as a symbol. And Russia is a bear. That's not hard. We've had that political cartoon in the newspaper since I was a boy 70 years ago. And then we have a dragon-like beast with a little horn, papacy, European Union, that was historic as well. The only question is, who is the leopard with 4 heads? Historically, that was Grisha and Alexander the Great with 4 generals that took over after he died. But today, it doesn't seem like Grisha is that great, but as an economic power, we have to think of China, possibly Japan, Korea, Thailand, 4 heads actually on this Oriental or Asian beast that may be an economic power, superpowers in the end time then represented by these 4 beasts. So that's it in a nutshell, and we're dealing with how in the 2nd seal the red horse takes peace from the earth. War is impending, and life and death issues. And then on tomorrow we will look at the 3rd seal, which is famine. How the black horse with a scale, measure of wheat for a penny, 3 measures of barley for a penny, famine, okay, is a result often of war. And so that's impending too on this world. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Please like this channel, subscribe so you don't miss any. And thank you very much. God bless you. See you at the top.